unapologetic, unadulterated, and uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, the super fortress of intelligent black thought. This is the BlackChannel.net radio. I am, of course, your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And the telephone number is 646-787-1933. 646-787-1933 is your personal access code to the blackest radio program in existence, the only one of its kind on planet Earth today. Join us. And no, here at the Black Channel, we don't suffer from any of the usual phobias. We don't have any of those problems. So, Paresca Vedica Triophobia is not a problem here. And if you are unaware what Paresca Vedica Triophobia is, look it up. It's Friday the 13th, and of course, this is your Black Luck Day. Welcome back to the Black Channel. On the line with me now, I believe, is someone holding my broadcast hostage at this time. At least, that's the situation. Hello, ma'am.
What kind of badger would I be if I wasn't here?
Needless to say, people, she does have incriminating photographs of me at a casino. So, in the meantime, I am being flogged into doing this. Now, tonight's broadcast is brought to you by the letters WTH. And let me tell you, it's as wacky as it can be out here, okay? It really, really is. Now, there's a lot of things that otherwise would be on our minds, but top of the line right now, is the fact that we're reading this story today, and of everything I came across, I guess the wackiest news of the day today, CNN reporting that Minister Creflo Dollar asks for $60 million in donations for a new jet. No. I thought the same thing you're thinking right now. No way. Yes way. This is a real story. It really happened. As I understand, I think they took it down. There was a link on CNN's website. Yeah, they took it down. They actually took the page down that they were asking for the money on. So if you go to their website, if you go to that CNN article that I posted, you'll see they actually took it down. They've taken the link down, so it's not there anymore. You can see that the URL takes you somewhere, but it's not available anymore. Wow. Real nice. Now, the story on CNN says, Creflo Dollar is hoping a few folks will see fit to bless him. The minister, known for being a prosperity preacher at his Atlanta area World Changers Church International, is seeking, quote, 200,000 people committed to sow $300 or more to help achieve our goal to purchase the new G650 airplane. He did not just want an airplane. This Negro wanted a Gulfstream G650. Not a G4, not a G5. He wants a G6. He wants to let you know he is balling out of control. He's balling without a steering wheel. The figures are presented in a nearly 6-minute video and total more than $60 million needed to buy the Gulfstream G650, which goes for a reported $65 million. The project isn't limited to member donations, as the site states that, quote, "We are asking members, partners, and supporters of this ministry to assist us in acquiring a Gulfstream G650. The video includes parishioners, a pilot, a project manager, and even the president of Liberia, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, advocating on behalf of the minister. The president of Liberia. You dirty, low-down, gutless, spineless, heartless bastards, soulless sons of dogs and daughters of dogs. They will not come here and discuss repatriation. They will not come here and discuss a right of return, but they'll damn sure hook up with one of the selected house Negroes, one of the prosperity poverty pimps. Now that they will do. And you wonder why white supremacy is running wild in Africa. You wonder why. Black people are 95% of the population in Africa, and yet Europeans put saddles on their backs and ride them around like ponies. In the video, the pastor chronicles incidents involving his current jet, which has been in service for more than 3 decades. The right engine went out en route to Australia, but the plane was able to safely land at its destination thanks to the experience of the pilot and crew. During another trip, mechanical failure caused the jet to skid off a runway in London, while Taffy Dollar and their 3 daughters were aboard. Oh, isn't that going to pull at the heartstrings? Why, it skidded off the runway when my wife and my children were in our Gulfstream. Why, it skidded off the runway. How can I feed my kids? How can I get them to school without our Gulfstream? How can I do it? Dollar said after those incidents, he, quote, knew it was time to begin to believe God for a new airplane. The Gulfstream G650 would comfortably allow the ministry to make its way around the world. It seats up to 14 passengers with berthing for 6, according to Gulfstream.com. The jet comes with 2 Rolls-Royce engines, high-speed internet, and 2 multi-channel satellites, and allows for a 2.5-hour commute from New York to Los Angeles. Let me get that straight now. So, are they saying that they can make it from New York to LA in 2.5 hours? Is that basically what they're saying, Melissa?
That's fast. My God, I didn't think it would be that quick.
Yeah, we may need to go back and check the math on that just to make certain. But it says, quote, the G650 is the biggest, fastest, most luxurious, longest range, and most technologically advanced jet by far, according to Gulfstream's site. In soliciting the donations, Dollar's site states, quote, we need your help to continue reaching a lost and dying world for the Lord Jesus Christ. Your love gift of any amount will be greatly appreciated. Attempts to contact Dollar's ministry for comment were unsuccessful. Now, first of all, this nigga here calls himself a prosperity preacher, and yet for some reason he hasn't been prosperous enough. I think hasn't he owned that plane now, Melissa, for like 15 years?
Yeah, I think he bought it in 1999.
Okay. Brothers and sisters, if he had put aside, $3 million a year from his extravagant budget, if he had put $3 million a year aside, he would have the money. for a new airplane? If he sold a couple of his mansions, if he sold a couple of his mansions, he would have the money for a new airplane. If he sold some of them Cadillacs, what's he got? He's got like a, him and his wife got his and hers Mercedes. I think they got his and hers Mercedes S-classes. Creflo, there went your airplane money. There went your airplane money, dude. Furthermore, you are a prosperity, gospel of prosperity preacher. Why is it that you aren't praying to God for another airplane? Why is it you're not asking God for another airplane? You are asking anybody and everybody who will throw you a couple of extra dollars for an airplane. Now he is telling his congregation that if they tithe their money, that God will bring them what they need. But when it's time for him to get what he needs, he didn't say, hey, I've tithed my money, I will wait for the Lord to bring it to me. He's coming to all of you. Because he needs a new G650. Now, let me explain something here, folks, okay? How many trips could he make from New York to LA on American Airlines at $60 million? If you gave somebody a budget of $60 million, how many regular commercial airplane flights would that person be able to take? How many? Now, by my math, depending on how much the tickets are, he could literally take hundreds of thousands of flights at $60 million. Him and his damn entourage. But you see, they are too good to associate with the little people. And he has grown so arrogant now that the sight of you disgusts him. And besides, why shouldn't he do it? After all, he's got a whole church full of people willing to do that. Now, Melissa, my first question here is, and maybe you can help me out with this. Why is it, will someone explain to me why it is that there is not a mass exodus tonight from his church? Can somebody explain that to me?
I don't understand. I've had a similar experience with, not at a Creflo Dollar level, but I've had a similar experience with a church where I was invited about a decade ago. I was invited to this church and I was told that this guy can tell you your future. This pastor just can lead you on the right path in life and tell you where you need to go and warn you about things ahead for $20 a person. I said, okay. So we go, and it's in this poor, decrepit black neighborhood. Number one, I'm like, what, this looks like downtown Beirut. It's an awful, awful city. And we get into this church, and it's a very small church. It looks like if you blew on it too hard, it would fall down. It's got those cheap red rugs and everything else. And pastor and his wife show up in twin Cadillac Escalades in this poor neighborhood. And I'm like, these people probably can't pay their light bill. And they're here giving this man money to tell their future. Like this hustle has been going on for a while. I don't understand it personally. Are we that downtrodden that we'll take anything? We'll believe anybody? Is that how we're coping, with economic oppression now? We blindly follow people asking for tens of millions of dollars for airplanes?
And not getting laughed out of the room. But then again, you paid for all these churches and him to rent Madison Square Garden every week. I mean, once you did that, He figures, why can't I just get away with everything? Now, I put up this post on Facebook, and I wanted to go down through all of this here because I wanted to go over the comments. And it didn't take long. It did not take long at all. There was a black female jumped up. She fit the profile of the usual physical characteristics you'd expect. Name is Nicole, and she said, I actually used to attend this church when I lived in Atlanta. For the record, a lot of members in his church were prosperous. There were more prosperous people than there were in poverty people. I think she means impoverished. He never asked for W-2s, and there's no ATM in the church. They take credit/debit cards. Much like T.D. Jakes' church. Which is why it's nothing for 200,000 people to actually give $300 each. You think poor people could do that? Please trust he's not the only one driving a Bentley in his church. Now, Gabriel asked her, Nicole, why is he asking for the congregation to buy him a jet when they could easily establish a black shopping district in Atlanta and have a portion of the city on lock? To which she responded the only way she could. She said, I don't know. Probably because he's involved in the black community in other ways. In other ways. She never actually explained to us what the other ways were. Gabriel asked her, in what way? The only way that matters is empowering your people economically. And then she said, believe it or not, most black people are not concerned with black empowerment. If all black people were like the people in intelligent black society, the black community would shift overnight. Sadly, we are the minority. Now, she says, sadly, we. She's talking about as if she's with us. Sadly, we are the minority in the black community. So the majority of black people giving them food and clothes are just fine for them. It's a sad but true story. Then she says, did you know Creflo is a doctor as in MD? She's saying that he's a medical doctor. I believe he does just fine on his own salary. Gabriel said, what does any of that have to do with him asking for $60 million for a jet? If he has his own money, why doesn't he buy the jet with his own money? She says again, I don't know, Gabriel. Maybe he wants to be a minister that spreads the gospel traveling city to city without actually having to buy a flight for him and his entire crew. That would get costly, don't you think? Now, this amount of overwhelming ignorance in black society, that we have people who say dumb things, people who say ridiculous things, and we allow them to just stay in the room and keep talking, keep spewing their nonsense, keep repeating their garbage. She should be embarrassed and ashamed to be saying what she's saying because it's so ridiculous, it's so ludicrous, it's so preposterous. But in black society, you can say things like she said and not get laughed out of the room. That she's asked a question, she's defending this man's spending habits, and when you ask her, how do you defend it? She says, I don't know, but I'm gonna defend it. And if you all want to know why there are black males in Tennessee who got 20 and 25 kids by 20 and 25 women, if you want to know why you got your shouty lows, if you want to know why that's happening, it's because of females like this. It is females like this who will allow a man, a person, somebody to stand in their presence, waste their time, waste their life, and sit there. Just sit there. She's not ashamed. She's not embarrassed. She's not humiliated. That she makes absolutely no sense, but she's not humiliated. Now, she goes on to say, but one thing Creflo does have is a religious operation that is black owned and operated and inspire Millions of people. Rather you agree with his approach or not, but what about you? What do you own? What have you built for the black community? It's really easy to attack someone else because you don't agree with their tactics. So here she is outright finally saying it, talking about us in intelligent black society. It took her 5 seconds to start defending this man. 5. Took her no amount of time at all to start defending him. And I ask you, brothers and sisters, can you understand now why we are in the situation and in the position that we are in today? Can you understand now why we are in the shape that we're in? She's not a little old lady, but she talks like the little old deluded ladies at the church and everything else. She talks like that. She talks like that, and there's absolutely no problem at all for her talking that way. She doesn't feel bad. She doesn't feel silly. She doesn't feel stupid. That's what she does. She doesn't feel bad. She doesn't feel silly. She doesn't feel dumb. And she has absolutely no problem whatsoever doing that. None. Now, how in the world do we make it or survive as a people with this many folks around us who are willing to engage in this behavior? How long are we going to be able to survive with that going on? How long are we going to be able to make it with this many people sitting right here next to us saying things like this? How long are you going to be able to do that? That's the question that I have for everybody. Not from little old ladies now. Not little old ladies. These are young folk. These are young people. These are young people who are willing to sit here and give up every damn thing they got. That's my point to you. We're willing to give up everything we have, and for what? And for what? There's supposed to be a part of you that says, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and look dumb. I'm not going to sit here and do that. I'm not going to sit here and allow people to make me look stupid. I'm not going to do that. There's supposed to be a part of you that does that. But that's not what's happening. Instead, what we have happening are people are saying, well, let's just keep pretending that everything is okay. This should be embarrassing to you. That's my point to everybody. You should be embarrassed. You should be embarrassed. She's not. They're not. These people are not the least bit embarrassed by anything they've heard here. As a matter of fact, they think the problem is that we are not doing enough, I guess, in their minds. They think the problem is that we don't see how brilliant what they're doing really is. They think that's the problem. They think the problem is the rest of us. Now, my question to everybody here tonight is, will you explain to me how exactly do you rebuild black society with this type of thing happening? Explain to me, how exactly do you do that? That's my question. How exactly do you rebuild black society with somebody sitting up here blatantly telling you that a church is a black-owned organization? Now, she goes even worse and gets even dumber with it before it's over, by the way. And I'm not insulting anybody. I'm just saying she goes even worse and gets even dumber with it. I mean, that's just the only thing you really can say about it. It gets even worse. You know, Melissa, there used to be a time people were embarrassed to say things like this. Now they don't have a problem getting on the internet and declaring it in front of the whole world. What did I miss?
I don't know. I guess he thought he could raise 65 million on the low and nobody would find out about it. But I don't know what part of the game this is. I really don't. I don't know what part of building society this is where we just let this type of stuff slide. But clearly, we've been letting it go for so long that he really thought he could just go on a campaign and raise that type of money for a jet. And nobody would say anything. I guess we don't have the infrastructure. We have no leadership, no infrastructure. We have nobody to check these kinds of things. So, people are just running around building these mega churches, making money, raping the people, and producing nothing for them. And you can't build a society that way. As much as I disagree with church, if you're going to have one, let it at least be for the people. Don't just take advantage of everybody. I get sick of, especially black males, I get sick of people trying to be leaders and building a following and congregation and, banging all the women in the congregation. Because how many of these guys are leaving their churches for extramarital affairs and sleeping around and moral conflicts and things like that?
The ever-present, ever-necessary moral conflict. That's a wonderful thing. That's a wonderful thing for us to have, that ever-necessary moral conflict. And the problem is we keep allowing people to do that. We keep allowing them to do that. We keep allowing them to do that, and then you wonder why your society never changes. Then we wonder why it never changes. We'll go ahead and see if we can open up the phone lines here and take a couple of calls. Let me get caller from 313. You're on live with the Black Channel. I guess they're going to get that started early. Let me go ahead and let them go there. Caller from 323, you're on live with the Black Channel. Make sure there. Let me make sure here. Is it? Okay, I think they're having a problem there. Let me see. Okay, caller from 323, you're on live with the Black Channel. Caller from 323, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Just listening.
Okay, you need to press the right button then if you're just going to listen. So you can try it again here. Let's see. Caller from 313, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Greetings. This is William from Detroit.
William from Detroit, what's on your mind, brother?
How are you, sir? I just want to start out by saying, how are you?
We're black first as always. What's on your mind?
We had a conversation, I believe a couple of weeks ago, when Tariq Nasheed came on. And I think it's fascinating, the behaviors that your victimization produces. It's not a, critique, excuse me, a critique of you or anything, because like I told you before, no black person is above reproach, or no one for that matter.
William.
Sure.
What did I tell you at the end of that phone call?
You didn't tell me anything.
Okay. I'll tell it to you now. Don't call me again. You got that?
I'm sorry?
Hey, I told you last time, like I'm telling you this time. Don't call me again. You're too stupid to be on my phone.
Too stupid to be on your phone.
Yes, the fact you have to repeat that shows how dumb you are.
Interesting.
No, not really. Caller from 954, you're on live with the Black Channel. Okay, the welfare people are out in force here tonight. Not really sure what their problem. Well, we all know what their problem is here. They are out in force and making a fool of themselves. Now, I'm going to read the rest of what she has to say here. I'm going to read the rest of that, but let me get caller from 407. You're on live with the Black Channel.
Hey, Brother Black, how you doing? This is Matt Lewis in Florida, from Orlando, Florida.
And what's on your mind, brother?
Man, that article is ridiculous. But, I mean, everybody should know about Creflo, man, and about his foolishness and all the other pastors that are doing that. I grew up in those churches. My grandfather's a pastor here out of Sanford, and they're doing it, and no one checks them. But when you start talking about black economics and using the church's money to, fund somebody's business or, they turn that stuff away. They make it seem like you ain't got the answer. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not the most intellectual guy, but you don't need to be super smart to figure out that you need money to make your community grow. And you need a code to do that too. So I really disagree with everything he's talking about. That whole donation thing for the plane, it's really silly. And anybody following along with that is foolish. But I did want to ask you a question, if you don't mind.
Okay, and what's your question?
Well, as far as economics and everything, black people, we definitely need that. That's no question. We definitely need that. What do you say about the Bible, though? What do you think we should throw that out and just focus straight on black economics?
Here's the problem, brother. The problem is, what is the problem that we as black people have today, and what do you see as the solution? So you tell me, as black people on planet Earth today, what is the problem that we have?
We ain't got no money. It's real simple. We don't have an infrastructure.
Okay.
We don't have an economy.
We lack an economy. Now, will you explain to me what part of our lacking an economy will our religion fix? That way I can understand exactly what it is. But just tell me what part. Well, first of all, you say we lack an economy. Why do we lack an economy?
Well, I'm gonna go based off of what I was taught. I wasn't taught about economics. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I mean,
well, how exactly did we end up being the poorest people in the world? How exactly did that occur?
Well, from just me reading, from me living and growing up, I'd have to say our ancestors didn't teach us about it. We came out of slavery with no knowledge. Some of us got smart and started to grow in businesses, but I think there was a disconnect. It's civil rights, maybe. Civil rights probably had something to do with that, a big part of that, where they just just said, hey, you know what, we're going to give up and try to meld in with these people and just forget trying to build our own stuff. That's what I think, personally.
Okay. Now, what do you see as the answer to that?
Well, I mean, I see the answer, in my opinion, I believe we definitely need to have a black economy that's, I mean, it's got to be strictly just for us, you know. And then also a code, too, you know, something, an actual code of honor that you got to follow. Like, everybody got to follow that. You know what I'm saying? If someone step out of line, you check them for that. That's what I believe. That's just me.
Okay. Now, do you realize that nowhere in where you were telling us about the problem or the solution, at no time did you ever say that the answer to what we need to do is that we need to that there's a spiritual answer to it? At no time did you say that. Did you realize that?
Oh, well, now I do. Now that you mention it, yes.
So at no time during the problem or the solution did you ever say that this is the answer. At no time did you say that. That's the thing that I'm looking at. That's the thing I'm looking at, is that, okay, I'm willing to roll with you however you want to do that, but why is it that during the discourse of your answer, at no time did you say, hey, the answer is spiritual. Hey, the answer is religion. You didn't say that the problem was religious. So how is it that the answer becomes religious? That's the question that I have.
Okay. All right. I see where you're going with that. I mean, yeah, I didn't answer the question properly because, you know, I
No,
wasn't
you did.
thinking at that particular point.
Actually, you did. You answered it exactly the way you meant it. You answered it precisely the way that you meant it. And that's my point.
Okay.
My point is that you did answer it the way you meant it. You meant it exactly. You were asked the first time exactly what you meant. And you were saying, hey, you know, our problem is economic. At no time did you say that the answer is religious. At no time. And that's the point that I want to make to other people. That's the point that I want to make to other people. Why is it that in no other place, at no other time, in no other way is the answer ever referred to as a religious answer, but suddenly as black people, the answers are all supposed to become religious? We're the only people who make a religious litmus test and can't even explain why we're doing it. We want to interject the Bible. Please tell me, what is the... and this is my question to you. You said, well, are you just saying we should just throw the Bible out? Here's my question to you. Tell me, what part of stopping white supremacy or poverty does the Bible serve? Tell me.
Well, I'm only going to go off a base of how far I studied in the Bible. That I do know that at one point in time, the people of the Bible had an actual code, and they actually had economics, you know, and they followed it and to a point until they stopped doing it, and then their empire fell completely because they stopped following.
Okay, but what? Are you saying that the Bible is essential to developing a code of conduct?
Well, I mean, a code of conduct, and I mean...
Wait a minute, that's not... Whoa, stop. That is not what I asked you. I asked you, are you saying that the Bible is essential to establishing a code of conduct?
Well, yes. As far as I've read, yes.
Okay, so you believe that without the Bible, we would be unable to establish a code of conduct.
Well, what I'm saying is...
Wait a minute. Whoa. Stop. You can't do that. Folk can't do that. That was a yes or no question. Either you believe that without the Bible we can't do it, or you believe that without the Bible we could still do it. That's not a let me explain question. That's a yes, I believe that, or no, that's not what I believe. It's just that simple.
Okay.
Do you believe that we could establish that code of conduct that you were referring to without a Bible?
I believe we can. I believe we can do it. And if we follow the code, we can help build something to follow that people actually will say, okay, look, if we don't follow this code, we can go right back to our poverty the way we were. That's me personally, what I believe as a man.
Okay. And that's the kind of thing that I'm referring to. Now, if you believe that we need a code of conduct, and then you say, but we don't need the Bible to establish that, then again, I ask you, okay, you said we needed it for economics. Please tell me what part of establishing an economy, how is the Bible essential to us establishing an economy? Hello? Okay, I think we may have lost him there. Okay, looks like he may have gotten disconnected there. He may need to try calling us back in here. Yeah, it looks like his call might have gotten disconnected. See if we can try restarting that here. But that's a good question for all of us to have here. And to understand that if you're going to say that we need a religious book, and I'm not going to argue over whether or not you think we need it or not. That's not my point. That's not my purpose. I'm not going to argue with you over that. My point about it is, okay, if you are going to believe that, that's fine. You can do that. But explain to me exactly how it is. What exactly is it that you need? And then you're going to have to explain to me exactly how it works. Because that's going to be what I'm going to need to know. I need to know what it is, and I need to know how it works. That's what I need to know. I need to know what it is, and I need to know how it works. Now, if you're able to explain to me how you can make that work, then I'm open to hearing it. But if you're not able to actually explain why it is you believe what you believe, now you should be asking some questions about that. You should be asking some questions about that. You should be asking some questions about that, but unfortunately, too often we don't actually want to do that. We don't actually want to ask those kind of questions. So what we end up doing instead is we end up looking for excuses for why this is working or why that's not working. And that is a problem that we too often and too frequently have. We are trying to shoehorn in things, and we can't even explain why we're trying to do it. Now, the real reason you're trying to do it is because you were indoctrinated at a young age. You were indoctrinated at a young age to believe that you could not function without this. And that's why you're holding on to it. Because you don't actually believe you can function without it. Now, you can't explain now you know what your problems are, but you can't explain to us how this thing fits into the solution to your problem. You can't articulate it. You can't say anything on it, but you know you need it. And if other people don't go along with the program, it's going to be problems. Now, you do know that, don't you? Why, this Nicole person on the thread, she even said that. She even said that in response to somebody else. She even said that. No, I'm not joking. She had told somebody on the post that if you don't believe in the Bible, then we can't work together because you and I are not on the same page. That's what she said. If you don't believe in the Bible, then we are not on the same page. I think she was talking to Kim, who sometimes co-hosts with me, and she said, "So are you atheist? Do you not believe in a higher power?" Kim responded, "How did you get atheist from me questioning his motives? My affiliation with a higher power is irrelevant to this post. My personal and private life isn't up for consideration in this post because I certainly haven't asked yours." To which Nicole responded, "Because first, we must be on the same page. If you are atheist and I am not, we will never come to common ground." Then she said she was going to unfollow the post, and she didn't. So if you don't believe what she believes religiously, even though she cannot tell you how this factors into anything else, if you don't believe what she believes religiously, then there's going to be a problem. There's going to be static. We're not going to be able to make it. Now you see why Creflo Dollar is in absolutely no danger of losing his financial empire anytime soon. Caller from 803, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Black first, brother.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Savier Worthy.
Savier Worthy, you had a few choice comments.
I did.
Okay, Savier has the other side of this coin, everybody. Why don't you explain to everybody why I had you call in?
Well, it initially started as a question, but you chose not to entertain my question. Instead, I believe her name is Mona. She responded to my question, and all I was just trying to do was get a question answered. That's all. I asked, excuse me, I said, basically I was just trying to understand understand your solution for black empowerment.
Okay.
And I'm sorry, not your solution for black empowerment. Your solution to the system of white supremacy is black empowerment. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Why don't you get to your point?
Now, well, I'm trying to figure out what that means, because in my opinion, black empowerment, I'm assuming that you're referring to black economic empowerment. Are you not?
Is there any other kind?
Well, you have military empowerment, But anyway, black economic empowerment is something that we've had before, and all I was trying to figure out is how that would solve
when did we ever have black economic empowerment? When?
Well, right after the Civil War.
What the hell are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Show me the era of history in America where black people had socioeconomic dominance.
Okay, see now you're switching the terminology.
No, I'm not. No, I am not. No, I'm
dominance.
not switching anything. You don't know what an economy is. You don't know what one is.
Well,
so that's why you're saying these things right here from this uneducated, uninformed standpoint. You need to be quiet and just listen, because you're humiliating yourself. And I'm trying to help you not humiliate yourself any further. You've made a fool of yourself. You should let somebody stop you, or I can let you just keep talking and make yourself look even worse. An economy is not something
Okay.
that you just wave your finger and you have. An economy comes in steps. And there is a certain point at which your economy has been finished being built, and from there, you simply expand it beyond your own borders. Black people have never had our own economy. We were trying to build one while we were getting lynched and firebombed and dynamited and everything else. We were trying to build one. But we never actually finished building one, because when you have an economy, for those of you who don't understand, and this guy doesn't get it, because he doesn't know. If you watch 7 a.m., you'd know all this. When you are, as Dr. Claude Anderson said, in order to have a fully functional society, you must have three things. You must have an economy, you must have a code of conduct, and you must have politicians that respond to and respect your needs. The economy comes first. It comes first. But you will know when your economy is fully established because you'll have the other two things. It takes the economy to establish a stop talking. It takes the economy to build.
To talk?
If you talk again, I'm going to let you talk to the either. You know when you have an economy because you'll have those other two things. You're talking about black folk had a few stores. See, we had an economy. Black folk had one or two small shopping plazas. Hey, we had an economy. And this is his idea of what an economy is. Having a grocery store. Not having control of the supply of groceries. Having a grocery store, he thinks that's an economy. He thinks that's what an economy is. He thinks having a hardware store is having an economy. That's what Savier here thinks it is. He thinks that's an economy, and it's not. Now, the other thing is you're a lying jackass. And I'm saying it like it is because you opened this call saying, I asked a question. You did not ask a question. I am reading your exact post.
I asked the question to you, and you didn't
I'm going to read your exact post right now. You said, quote, black empowerment will not end the system of white supremacy. It will only lead to more white empowerment, period. Because all Negroes are going to do, shut up. All Negroes are going to do is buy European cars and other trinkets controlled by the broader society, period. The only reason they stopped the slavery system is because the machinery, like the steam engine, period. You have all sorts of economically empowered groups across the globe, and they still live under this system as well, period. There are only three ways to end this system, in my opinion, period. 1, all non-white people get together and establish a violent revolution. But warning, this will also lead to the end of all human life on planet Earth. Stop doing mollies, period. 2, black males cohabitate with as many white females as possible to get their population down, smoking crack, period. Or 3, wait for them to end it, period. Because history has shown us that they will not abandon an oppressive system unless they find one that is more profitable. That is the end of your post, period. Will you tell me where in your post that there is a question mark where you tell me which one of those sentences you ever asked a question?
Okay. That post was the result of
Explain
my question
to
being
me.
unanswered.
That was the one we responded to.
So that was my response to you not answering the question.
That was the one that we responded
I could
to.
actually screenshot you the question that was asked.
That was the one we responded to.
Okay. All right. So can I talk now? I mean, I don't know.
Do you have something intelligent to say?
All right. I'm still trying to get my question answered. Okay. You're saying that black empowerment is going to end the system of white supremacy. Do you believe that there is any other group on the globe that has their own economy?
Yes.
Who?
That's a stupid question, and I'm not going to answer it because the fact that you have to ask who means it would be pointless to tell you.
No.
Yes.
I'm asking a question because I don't know.
then
So who?
then it would be pointless to explain it
What
to you.
group has their own economy?
Then it would be pointless to explain it to you because you are too ignorant to understand what
All
an
right.
economy
well,
is.
We can move on, but you don't want to answer that question.
It's not a matter
You
of
don't
me
wanna answer
answering the
that
question.
That's
I
fine.
answer the question every day, every week here. You obviously don't have enough brain cells to understand it, so there would be no point to me explaining it to you. It would be like me trying to explain astrophysics to an ant. I can explain it to him till I'm blue in the face. He's an ant. He's not going to understand physics.
Right. I'm not asking you about astrophysics.
No,
I'm
you're asking about
you
something a
who
lot dumber.
On the globe has their own economy.
Okay,
What-
we've
if you don't
already
wanna answer that, that's
established.
fine.
We have
Okay,
already
but can I move on
established
from
that.
that question? Can I
We
ask
have
another question?
already established that you don't even know how to define an economy. We already established that. You're
Yes, I
ignorant
do.
of what an economy is.
Are you asking me that question?
No, I said no. I'm not asking you because you don't know. You were already asked before. You don't
Yes,
even
I
know what
do.
an economy is. Why don't you
Okay.
tell everybody what an
All right, can
economy?
I ask another
Why don't
question?
you tell everybody what
Why don't
an
I-
economy is? Tell us all what an economy is.
Okay. Economics means that you are making the most out of your resources. That's all economics is.
Okay, why don't you
Okay.
explain to everybody what an economy is?
That is
Third
a
or fourth
group
try we're trying
of
here.
individuals that are making the most out of their resources. That's all economics is. Okay? All right. Now, all I'm trying to
What
figure
is
out
economics in a
how,
capital?
if
What
there
is
are other
economics in a
groups, if there-
capitalist
excuse
system?
me, can-
What is
Golly.
economics in a capitalist system?
What is economics in a system of capitalism?
Yes.
That would be the same thing.
No, it would not.
Making the most out of your resources. Yes,
no,
it
it
is.
would not.
Anyway,
It doesn't matter whether you make
I mean,
the
are you going
most.
to allow me to proceed?
It doesn't matter.
I mean,
No, because you don't. How old are you?
32.
Wow. And we wonder why black women do not respect black men's intelligence. And we wonder why.
Well, you haven't shown me any respect since I've called in, and you invited me to call in.
Buddy, you're
Was it
insulting.
just
You're
to
insulting all our
hurl
intelligence.
insults at me?
You're insulting everybody's intelligence here. Everybody with a brain cell count
No,
over
I'm not.
5,
I'm
you're
trying to get
insulting their
a simple
intelligence.
question answered. That's all I'm trying to do.
But you're incapable of understanding it because you don't even know what an economy is. You
I
don't
haven't
even know.
asked the question.
I asked the question and you have yet to be able to answer it. I even broke it down and gave you a hint and you were unable to answer it because you
Right,
don't
okay,
know.
well,
Because
you're
you
dancing around
don't
my
know.
question with questions of your own.
Because you
instead of
don't
just-
know.
I'm only appealing to you because I don't understand your strategy.
You do not
That's all.
know.
I'm not trying to impugn your character like
Then
you're trying to do
if,
to me.
if you
I'm not-
don't
I'm
know,
not-
then the first
I'm
thing
not
about
here
a
for that.
person who does not know, the first thing a person who doesn't know is he shuts up and he doesn't say anything. That's what a person who doesn't
Right,
know
but I have
does.
to ask the question first, don't I? All I'm trying to do is establish a question. That's
Okay.
all. On your forum.
What is wealth?
Okay. You have already
Explain
admitted
to us,
that an economy
define
doesn't-
for us
you have already
what is wealth. Define for us what is wealth.
that's not what I'm calling about, man.
But that's
not
the
what
que-
I'm calling
but
about.
that is the question.
Definition of wealth is the definition of wealth would be something that is transferable from one entity or one individual to another. But I'm not here for a vocabulary definition contest. I'm not here for that. I'm just trying to get a simple answer.
You have been asked what is economics. You have been asked what is wealth. You don't know any of those things.
Oh my gosh.
You have no idea what any of these things are, but you came in my group spewing all kinds of vomit as if you knew, and you don't. You have no clue about any of these things.
No, I told you it started with a question that went unanswered, so I made a post, and that was the only time I received a response.
What you need to do is look in the chat room right now and take a look at all the people who are moaning and groaning, and then ask yourself, what is it that all these people know that I don't, that they're moaning and groaning? What is it that they know that I don't?
If you guys are I'm sorry, can I talk?
No.
I asked a question.
You said you wanted to learn.
You're the person with the microphone.
Last time,
all I'm trying to do is
you
ask a
said
question.
you wanted to learn. If you want to learn, the first rule of a person who's stupid and doesn't know is he shuts up and he doesn't say anything. He just sits and he listens until he gets it. Now, if he starts talking, he isn't stupid. He's not a person wanting to learn. He's a jackass who doesn't know anything, but is trying to convince everybody that he really does know, and that if he keeps talking, we see this phenomenon most among black females, if he keeps talking, he will eventually convince you all that he was somehow on the periphery right about what he was saying, as opposed to doing what a person who doesn't know does. A student who wants to learn shuts the hell up and just listens.
Well, I'm raising my hand then.
I'm telling you, be
Can
quiet.
I ask a question?
I don't need your
teacher.
I don't need your questions. First of all,
this is ridiculous. I mean, if the only reason you called was to try and
okay, are you gonna shut up and listen?
Me.
Are you gonna shut up and listen, or am I gonna help you be quiet? That's the only question I want to know right now. Are you gonna shut up, or am I gonna help you shut up?
Can I ask a question, dude? Because it's got to be a reason that you're trying to circumvent it.
You can ask your question, and then if you say one more word, I'll let you talk to yourself.
Can I ask the question?
You have 5 seconds.
Okay. You've admitted that we live in a system of white supremacy, and you've also admitted that there is a group of people on the planet.
Time is up. That was your 5 seconds. You're a mumble.
Right.
You're a babbler. You're a motor mouth babbler.
You don't want anybody to get a word
Sir,
in.
You can ask a question in 5 seconds.
Your ego.
You can ask a question in 5 seconds. You want to run your mouth. Just ask your question. I don't need your setup.
Now there's a timing limit on the. Come on, dude.
What is your question?
I mean, I can't talk.
Just ask your question. We don't need your setup about what I said. Just ask your question.
My question is, if there is a group on the planet Earth that has their own economy, why hasn't the system of white supremacy stopped if that's all it takes to...
Okay, as I said before, if you shut up, dummy, I would have already gotten that answered. So you don't have a question.
Dummy.
You just figure if you keep talking, you'll look less stupid than you do. You figure if I just keep on talking, people won't know how dumb I am. You've asked the same thing already before, which was already being answered. Now, you're going to shut up, and the reason you're going to do that is because I am going to drop your call. Now, let's be clear on a couple of things. Now, first of all, he made an ass of himself because he lied and said that he asked a question. He didn't ask a question. I read to you all the post, and that was the post he put up. That was the post that was read, and he sat here lying and saying, oh, I asked a question. No, he did not ask a question. He just sat up talking, and that's what made people tell him to shut up. This moron has no idea what an economy is, and we wonder why black women do not take black men seriously. 32 years old, incapable of thinking for himself, coming up with all kinds of stupid things. Stuff that he cannot do, even by his own estimation. He can't do any of the things that he did mention. He doesn't want to build an economy, but the other options he named, he tells you that, well, you can't do those either. So at the end of the discussion, the only thing you're left with is a clown who says, we can't do anything. But I bet you he wants plenty of females around him. Now, he does want female company while he's doing nothing. Now, first of all, let us understand what an economy is. An economy is the ability to take the Earth's resources and to profit from them, not just to make maximum use of them. You can make maximum use. You can make minimum use. It doesn't matter which you do so long as you make maximum profit. Because as Dr. Anderson explained, you can have an apple tree, you can have oil, you can have any commodity on earth, but until somebody takes them, refines them, stores them, processes them, or does something with them, they are worthless. They have no value. Nimrod here did not know that, and even after he was asked several times, he never gave you all an explanation even close to the one I just gave you. He didn't say anything like that. So no wonder he's clueless, but he's not clueless. He's just cowardly, and he's looking for a way to get respect by doing absolutely nothing. And the adult world doesn't work that way. Now, the next thing this moron asks is, well, the system of white supremacy, if economics was how you overthrow the system of white supremacy, then why is it that other people, if they got their economy, that white supremacy is still standing? The Arabs have their own economy. The European and white powers of the world bow to the Arab. But to this moron, he doesn't know what Aramco is, so never mind. That was just over your third grade education. That was over your head. The Chinese just became the world's largest economy at the end of 2014. America bows to China today. General Motors, fully half of its production, they expect to have it in China within the next 10 years. They bow to the Great Wall. Japan has its own economy. These are non-white peoples I just keep on naming here, by the way. They have their own economy. India has its own economy. Not as good or robust as the Orientals, but India has its own economy. Their own car manufacturers, their own oil companies, their own computer chip companies. They are economically independent. So is Japan. So is China. So are the Arabs. They can do free trade with the world, but they have their own economy. They are not dependent on other people to bring resources to them. They're not dependent. And even for the things that they are dependent for, or at least get from other people, they've got the means to get them on their own. They've got options. And what they do for a profit. Whether it's natural resources or manpower. They are taking it and refining it and utilizing it for a profit. America is the Saudis' mercenary army. The American military is a mercenary army that serves at the pleasure of the Saudis. Once again, Nimrod has no idea about that, which is why I wasn't going to bother explaining it to him. If you all want to know why there were professors like the chick who called that we called last week, if you want to know, there's a bunch of black folk out here just like that. Just like her. No clue, no thought, no nothing. Just like her. Now, this idiot who was just on the phone, and I'm saying it like it is, this idiot sat here, and what he was trying to say was, well, you need something. What he was basically trying to say is you need something other than economics. You don't need that. Just do something else. Now, the first thing this clown says is a violent overthrow. What in the hell? He first says all non-white people get together and establish a violent revolution. So he doesn't think black people can even do that on our own. He wants to have a black and brown, black and Asian, whatever coalition. He thinks that the Asians and the Hispanics are going to get together with black folk so we can have a revolution and overthrow white supremacy. Violently. This is that make-believe garbage talk that makes black women laugh at us when we leave the room. No wonder they watch Scandal, because this ignoramus, that is the caliber of black male walking around in average America talking to black females, talking about he's going to save her and he's going to help her. He's going to do something to help her. And then can't figure out why they laugh at us. But he's going to do something to help her. He has the intellectual capacity to lead her. But he's going to build this black and brown, black and yellow coalition to lead the revolution. Now, then he admits to himself in his own question that it won't work, but he says it in these fantasy island terms. But warning, this will also lead to the end of all human life on the planet. No, the hell it will not. It will not, because your little revolution ain't going to make it that far. You know why? Because revolutions are not won by revolutionaries. Revolutions are won by money. They are won with money. The reason that the North was able to beat the South in the American Civil War is because the North was rich and the South was not. And they toppled the South before the South could have an economy of their own. You aren't going to wage any type of revolution if you don't have any money. Because you have to buy guns, you have to buy bullets. Once again, dumbass Jones, who just was on the phone, he thinks that bullets materialize out of air. Most likely one of the Hotep crowd with that name. He thinks bullets materialize out of thin air. He doesn't think that he would actually have to buy bullets. He thinks it's like the movies and that bullets simply appear. They just materialize out of smoke. It takes money to make guns, it takes money to make bullets, and it takes money to make more of them. And right now, who in black society makes guns or bullets? Who gets the steel to be able to make guns or bullets? Who gets the gunpowder? Who gets the copper? Who gets the iron? Who gets any of that? The stainless steel. Who gets any of that to make our own weaponry? Who does that in black society? Who would we go to? Because if you're going to start a revolt against white supremacy, do you think white supremacy is going to continue to supply you with bullets and guns when they know you're going to shoot at them with them? No. So your little revolution ain't gonna make it nowhere, because we as black people are dependent upon the people that we would be uprising against. We're dependent upon them for the very guns we would be using to shoot at them with. But you'll notice in nothing he said did he ever discuss how he would get the guns. He never discussed how he would start this revolution. Never stated it. Not online, not on the phone. He never stated how he's going to start this revolt. But he's going to lead the rest of us. His second moronic point: black males cohabitate with as many white females as possible. So, in other words, he wants black men to sell our souls. Now, let me tell you something here, okay? Now, he said get black males to cohabitate with as many white females as possible to get their population down. So he wants his strategy, Melissa, his strategy is that all black males become Negro bedwenches. Now, you know, when you are talking to the product of a bastard baby-making slut, when his answer to stopping somebody's socioeconomic violence against you is to whore yourself out. Become their whore, and you can actually overthrow them. Now, will someone please point to me and show me the great empires built by the world's prostitutes? Show me the wars won by the world's whores. He's a grown-ass man, 32 years old supposedly, telling the rest of us as black males that the strategy for overcoming white supremacy is that we need to lay down and whore ourselves out. Now, it's one thing to hear a woman. It's one thing to hear a scared woman say that she will use her body to avoid somebody's wrath. But when you have a male coming to other males who have the ability to defend ourselves, and he says, no, don't do that. We need to lay down and make ourselves sexually available to as many white women as possible. That's the strategy. That one'll work. Now, by the way, if you all remember, he didn't give any downside to it. He just said that's an option. He never said there's anything wrong with it. Never said how it would backfire. Let's get something straight, people. Let's get something straight. There are about 18 million black males in America altogether. That means if every single black male in America would have to sleep with 5 white women, we would have to get all of them. We would have to sleep with every single white woman in America. Each of us would have to get 5 of them. Now understand, by the way, you're still going to have white women having children with white men, so we would actually have to start scheming on the kids before they're even born. We got to leave no stone unturned. Now, if you aren't humiliated and embarrassed to be associated with a suggestion like his, something so absolutely ludicrous, what the hell's wrong with you? Number 3, he said, wait for them to end it. Wait for white supremacy to end it. Because history has shown us that they will not abandon an oppressive system unless they find one that is more profitable. So in other words, his solution to everything is bow down, bend down, whore yourself. This is a grown black man telling us as black males that our salvation lies in using the tactics of the whore and the harlot. That's his suggestion to us. That if enough of us as black males will just sleep with enough white women, we can win our own survival. What in the hell? Melissa, did I miss something? Apparently I missed a lot. Never mind. Apparently I missed a hell of a whole lot. This is the caliber of black male that's out here today. This is the caliber of black male that you have representing us today. This was his suggestion to us about how we survive. White supremacy's power does not rest in its military. White supremacy's military is a side effect of its economy. It is the economy that built everything else. The military wasn't built by a bunch of citizen volunteers. Their military was built on an economy. Their media was built on an economy. Their schools were built on an economy. But in the world of the coward, you know that you have been raised by a low down type of female. When you can come to other black males and say to them with a straight face, fellas, if we bow and scrape and whore and prostitute ourselves out to enough white women, that is the strategy. Give up your scruples. Give up your principles. My principle is, understand something. You know, this is why so many black males get killed. So many black males get killed because they're raised by single mothers. And single mothers, especially the low-life hood rat kind, and unfortunately most single mothers, that's how they became single mothers. You just gotta tell the truth about it. They live their lives by hood rat rules. And so they teach their sons. Their sons grow up with experiencing hood rat rules. So these boys go out into the world and try to live their lives by hood rat rules. And so a hood rat will sit up here on World Star Hip Hop or whatever and run their mouths. And people will sit up there and watch them fight at McDonald's and oh well. But as a black male, that ain't gonna work for you. As a black male, they kill you. Mike Brown was not a physical threat. Mike Brown simply resisted for too long. He avoided the abuse for too long, and that's what got him killed. Trayvon Martin was not a physical threat. He resisted the abuse for too long, and that's what got him killed. Eric Garner, the world saw that on video. He was not a physical threat. He simply resisted the abuse for too long, and that eventually cost him his life. Now, had those been females, this would have been a totally different type of situation. Had these been females. But black males raised by single mothers had the idea that we can go out in the world and do what the females do. My mama did it. It'll work for me. So they see their mama sleeping with half the dudes on the block. So they get it in their heads, well, hell, that's an option for me too. Melissa, I've been walking this earth more than a few years. I have never heard of a black bedwench. I've never heard of a black male bedwench, ever. I've never heard anybody even suggest that we should become black male bedwenches. What in the world is that?
I've never heard that either. I was kind of... and then my first thought was, well, how do you build a black society if you're sleeping with all these white women?
Clearly, that's not the goal. Clearly, his goal, none of his suggestions actually get you to an independent black society. None of them. Absolutely none of them. If you do not have an economy, you will not be able to stop anything that white supremacy is doing. You are not going to be able to stop anything that they are doing. You won't be able to even begin to stop what they're doing. You can't even begin to address it in any way. You can't. There's no way to. There's no way to. And then you all, and if you notice when he was on the phone, he didn't want to stop talking. You notice that? Like I said, this is what he learned from his mammy. If I just keep talking, and don't shut up, I'll just keep talking, and eventually I'll be allowed to have my way. Eventually, you will just give me the benefit of the doubt, and eventually I'll wear you down, and you will just concede that I'm partially right, instead of saying, nigga, you is totally bass-ackward. Caller from 646, you're on live with the Black Channel.
Hello?
Yes, you're on live, caller from 646.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Black. I didn't press anything, but I'll still speak to you. My name is Jay from Brooklyn. How you doing tonight?
What's on your mind?
Well, basically, you're 1,000,000% right about what goes on Black society. I saw 7 a.m. actually about January of this year, and it actually changed my whole entire thinking process about what I see how people go through. It's pretty much getting worse and worse as days go on. I don't know if this made national news, but a guy got killed by a retired correctional officer. And the correctional officer started the whole incident. These are two black guys, one Hispanic, one other black. He chased him down the stairs, assaulted the guy. The guy pushed him back and just fired upon him. But they arrested his friend.
You live in a system of white supremacy.
Oh, I agree with you 1,000% sure. 1,000%. And I'm at this point where if you're not building, I can't really deal with you anymore. I have friends that's in the fraternity, and they have this quote-unquote elitist type mentality that, oh, well, it's not me, it's just them. They don't represent me. And I'm just baffled and looking at these guys like, are you serious? You're poor and you're broke and you're sleeping with all these women, but yet you don't think you're the cause of the problem. I mean, it's heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking.
The caliber of black males that we have running around right now, that previous caller, that was exactly it.
I know. I mean, right now I'm teaching kids how to play basketball in the middle school, and you see the feminine traits what Dr. Umar Johnson was talking about with these kids now. They don't want to take direction. You talk to them, they'll talk back to you. And we look at them like, hey, man, this is like 20 years ago. It'll be a whole nother incident. But you have women that take on masculine traits. And when you tell them about these traits, they get upset at you. They bought into a belief system, that strong black superhero feminist nonsense that's never worked for them. It's never worked.
We have grown black males exercising this now. These are the guys these are the people who are supposed to be leading the society. The males are supposed to be leading the society, and they are so whipped and effeminized now that they have no problem going on the internet in front of the whole world and saying that we should behave like a bunch of hoes.
I know. And I think, we have to hold brothers accountable where they have to be checked. If I know a man beats a woman, I check him immediately like, hey, man, we can't really talk no more. If you feel so strong to fight another female, that says a lot about your psyche.
And did you also notice that he suggested that all the black males sleep with all the white women? Did you notice that he didn't suggest that all the black women sleep with all the white men?
Nobody. Paul Mooney said the best. He said everybody wants to be a nigga, but nobody wants to be a nigga.
He wants to open up the door so he is a black male. He's got access to white women, but he does not want white men riding through his camp. So what he wants is sexual access. He wants it from black women, white women, everything else. He wants sexual access. He doesn't want to build an economy, but he knows he wants sexual access.
Yeah, I've dealt with people like that, and I'm just baffled how they let everything around them control what they think, what they do, and then they'll tell you they're the problem. People make up so many excuses not to build. From religion to politics to other black people. I had a friend recently tell me, when I talked about building an economy, building businesses, he told me, and I quote, I want to go to another black businesses because of, I think what he said is a self-hatred issue. I'd rather go to a white guy because I know he's my enemy. So you rather give money to somebody you can't stand than somebody who looks like you.
That doesn't even make sense.
Because they made it. I know this. But that's what we're dealing with right now. I mean, to see people in 7 a.m. and once again, I have to thank you because it was like almost like I had so many feelings after getting out that SVA theater. I was disappointed, shocked. It was almost being like in a car accident you survived. And it just plays over and over again about what happened throughout the accident.
Black people are trying to do everything except the only thing that will work. Because they're scared. Because he's scared because he's ignorant and he doesn't know. He doesn't know how to open a lemonade stand. He doesn't know how to open a popsicle stand. He doesn't know how to make a basic dollar on his own. And that's why building an economy frightens him, because if you tell him he's got to actually go out there in the world on his own and make this economy pop off by himself, and he's like, hey, I don't know how to do none of that. Y'all are just going to throw me out there and leave me? I don't know how to do any of this. So he wants to change the conversation to mystical, magical, make-believe options. He wants to invoke make-believe options, things that you cannot do, things you can talk about. I mean, you can talk about an armed rebellion, but without money you can't do it. And you can talk about sleeping with all the world's white women, but guess what? Without money, you can't do that neither. You really think that Heidi Klum was with Seal because he was a great singer? You really think all those white chicks chasing the NBA players are chasing them because they love basketball? So it all comes back to money. And then his third option, make them quit on their own. Well, that's only going to happen if we have our own economy. So once again, all three of the options that he named, the only way you're going to make that happen is if you got money. And what's the one thing he wants to pretend that you could actually accomplish those other things in some way without money. And that's a lie. That is a lie. If you're Tiger Woods is not pulling all those white women because they think he's cute or because they love golf. They're doing that because he's the $400 million man. That's what they're doing it for. And if you had that kind of cheese stacked up, they'd be calling you the same way.
True. It's just, man, it's just so disappointing how we have so many broken people walking around, as Zoe said, Zoe just said, they're just coping. A lot of coping mechanisms. And yourself, as well as Tariq, I still remember you said at the end of 7 a.m., even if you don't know how to build a business, make sure you find somebody who has built a business and you learn from them. And that's what I ultimately did. My friend owned a real estate company, and I'm actually working for him now.
And that's how you get mentored, is by doing business.
Exactly. So with all these people, with the conscious community and these crooks, as we call preachers and politicians, how can you take yourself seriously when a guy named Creflo Dollar, that sounds like a pimp name to me,
for real,
has a donation for a $70 million private plane, but yet everybody, his congregation is surrounded by impoverished neighborhoods? They should burn down his church.
Well, here's the real thing. If he's Mr. Prosperity, why doesn't he show you all how to get a G6 too?
Because he can't.
Brothers and sisters, if Creflo Dollar was really on top of this prosperity gospel thing, if he was really the man for that, explain to me why he is the only person in that building who has a G6. You might have one or two other people in that place with a Bentley, but if he's got thousands of people in that place, shouldn't half the people in that place be driving Bentleys, Lamborghinis? Shouldn't at least 10 or 20 of those people have their own G6? Why is he the only one who has one? And if he can't show you how to get what he's got, why the hell are you still there? And clearly, even he can't get what he's got, because he's coming back to you saying, brother, can you spare 300? I'll let you have the last word.
So keep on doing everything that you're doing. Yourself, Tariq Nasheed, Umar Johnson, as well as the prophet, Dr. Claude Anderson. Our revolution is slowly going to happen. It's only going to be a few of us. But the civil rights generation never worked. There's no such thing as social integration. Once you ask them these questions, they get upset at you. I had one guy tell me in my face, and I almost I had to restrain myself from not cursing him out. Talking about my generation dropped the ball. I'm like, drop the ball of what? Oh, you guys are crazy and everything else. I'm like, when you leave a child out in the wilderness on its own, they've got to gravitate to somebody who pays them attention. But yet, I remember you said this, and I always take this. These are the same people who created this atmosphere, the quote-unquote civil rights generation. And Ramil Abdul said the best. He said civil rights was only afforded to the people who could afford it. And they left those neighborhoods. And these same people turn around and point their nose at these people that they left.
Well, like I say before it's over, we may have something to say about that as well. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. We're glad you dropped in with us here. Let's see if I can try taking a few more phone calls here. Let me get a caller from 682. You're on live with the Black Channel.
Hi, Jason. It's Nicole.
Hello, Nicole. And what's on your mind?
I was on the post today about Creflo Dollar, so I was just calling in.
Nicole?
Yeah.
How old are you? How old are you, Nicole?
I don't want to tell my age.
Say what?
I said I don't want to tell my age.
Then we don't have anything else to talk about then. That's silly. How old are you?
I am 32.
You're 32 years old. Same age as the
Yes.
Nimrod from earlier. How many people at Creflo Dollar's church have Bentleys?
Wait, huh? I can't hear you.
How many people at Creflo Dollar's church are driving cars in excess of $100,000 in value?
My point that I was
I
making
asked
is that,
a question.
well, I'm not sure.
Okay, the answer to the question is you don't know. So you got, one of the problems that we have in black society is we're overrun with bull jive artists. A bunch of people who talk a bunch of mess, especially the internet has become a breeding ground for individuals like this, that they say a bunch of garbage and hope that nobody actually thinks over that this crap they're saying can't possibly be true. This is a man with thousands of people in his congregation. And you talk about, you best believe he ain't the only one with a Bentley. Okay, how many other people have one? I don't know. So you want us to take your word for it that he's doing all this wonderful good for everybody, and yet you can't even substantiate for us or quantify exactly how much good he's actually doing. Because the truth is, you don't know anybody at his church other than him who has a Bentley. You don't know anybody there. And that's the truth. You don't know anybody at his church who's driving a car like his. Nobody. But you had no problem getting on a post in front of the world and trying to bluff your way through it that Creflo Dollar, the medical doctor, the MD, Creflo Dollar, the medical doctor, that you remember that? Hello, Nicole, did I lose you?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay, Creflo Dollar Creflo Dollar MD. Creflo Dollar MD. Why is it that he's the only person there with a Bentley?
I'm just thinking, I'm trying to figure out why in order to build black empowerment,
I asked a question. I asked a question. Now, if you want me to answer your questions, that's fine, but you're not going to bypass mine. Who else at his church has a Bentley other than him?
I have not been to his church. I used to live in Atlanta, and I haven't lived in Atlanta since I was younger. So I can't tell you how many people have a Bentley there because I don't know. I know that there are people there that have money. They don't, like he's not the only person that is prospering in the church.
Okay, how many other people at that church have a G6? He's had one for 15 years. Now, certainly you would know if somebody at his church had a damn airplane. One of the most expensive private planes on earth. You would know if somebody at his church had a damn G5 or a G6. They make songs about those planes. The answer to the question is nobody. Nobody at that church has a Bentley except him. Nobody at that church has a G5 or a G6 except him. Nobody at that church has got 3 mansions except him. Now, here's the only question that matters, Nicole. After all these years of Creflo Dollar talking about prosperity pimp preaching, please explain to me, why is it that the only person he has been able to teach or show or help to get a Bentley or a G6 is Creflo Dollar? That silence tells you, she's still on the line, y'all, but that silence tells you all everything. You want to know why the black community is messed up today? You want to know why the kids in school are dumb? You want to know why we got all these bastard babies running around here? You want to know why we got all these fast-talking bull job artists? You want to know why it is that white folk think they can call you nigga to your face and get away with it? Because this is what's leading black society on the phone right now. This is it right here. The first caller, 32 years old. Here she is, 32-year-old. You two knuckleheads need to get together. Please don't have kids. But you two need to get together. And just don't procreate. Occupy each other. But this is what's leading black society today. Everybody, this is what's leading black society. Either you answer my question or you stop. I asked a question. What is the answer to the question I asked you? Okay, maybe you forgot the question. Would you like me to repeat it?
You said how many people have a G6?
I asked you, why is it the only person he's been able to show how to get a G6 and a Bentley is himself? If he is so productive and so beneficial to everybody at his church, why is it that after all this time, all these years, a decade and a half, and still the only person rolling a Bentley and a plane is him? How can that be after 15 years?
I'm not sure, but I know
you're not sure. Okay, you're not sure. Then what that means, if you are not sure, what that means is that you will not defend him again in any way, shape, form, fashion, or manner until you know the answer to that question. Because that goes to his credibility to be standing in that church at all. And I just asked you, why is he in that church? And you just said, I don't know. He's supposed to be here teaching everybody prosperity, but nobody is prosperous except him. And now you said, but I don't know why he can't teach anybody else. He's supposed to be the teacher, but nobody else is prospering except him. Then he doesn't belong there. Well, I don't know why he's there.
Okay. Well, if you say you want $1 million, or if you want $1 billion or whatever, and you just pray about getting $1 billion, you don't put any work into it, then you're not going to get anything. So that's what most black people do. They'll pray and they don't actually have any action. So
okay, but wait. If prayer is so necessary, why is it that plenty of atheists make money?
I'm saying that.
I asked a. Do you notice that every question you've been asked tonight, you haven't been able to answer a single one? Did you notice that? Have you noticed that about yourself? Now you're sticking to this principle, you're sticking to this belief, and every question you're asked, you don't have an answer. But you're going to stick to it regardless. At what point does a person just admit that, you know what, I'm being stupid and stubborn? Because I should be able to answer this. Answer the question.
Because the people probably don't apply it properly. The teachings, they probably don't apply it properly. So
why are most of the world's billionaires and millionaires atheists or not Christians? Why is that? If prayer is what you need, why is it that most of the world's most prosperous and wealthy people are not Christians or even believers? Why? If what you said is true.
I'm not sure. I don't know much about atheists. I don't know what they believe.
I asked you a simple question. You said that these other people just ain't praying properly.
No, I said they're doing no actions when they
okay,
pray.
Why do you need to... Wait a minute. If we've already established that you can get what you want just by working and not praying, why do we need to pray?
I mean, I don't know. Why wouldn't you pray? Because
okay, whoa. Do you notice that every question you are asked, you don't answer it? Every answer you give is, I don't know. At what point do you just admit that, you know what, I've got a pretty flaky belief system and it's time for me to abandon it because I can't even explain to you why I say most of the things I say? Why is it that you're not having that epiphany moment, Nicole? So far, you've been asked half a dozen questions, and your answer has repeatedly been, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. At this point, you're supposed to be saying, you know what? I need to go back and re-examine everything I think I believe, because obviously my belief system is so flawed that I can't even defend a single part of it. Then why do you still have it if you can't defend any of it? You can't even tell us why you believe what you believe. Explain that to me. If prayer is so essential, why are all these atheists doing great?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No, I know what I believe.
Okay, whoa. Let's not talk about what you believe. Let's talk about what you know.
So are you suggesting that we abandon religion altogether?
I'm saying, Nicole, what do you know? Don't tell me what you believe, because we've just proven that what you believe is flawed and probably false. So what do you know? Not what you believe. What do you know about the necessity of your religion to prosperity? Tell me what you know.
I know that I have to actually do some actions to get to where I'm going. I know that if I just sit and pray, then nothing's going to happen. I know that.
Okay, but once again, if you act by yourself without praying, you can still get the same results. How is prayer? Tell me how prayer is the game changer. Tell me what prayer is giving you that you said, well, if you pray but don't act, you can't get what you can. If you pray but don't act, you can't get what you want. But if you act and don't pray, you can get what you want. But if you pray and act, you can get what you want. Wait a minute, you already told us that if we act by ourselves. So you haven't told, and you already told us that prayer by itself does nothing. You just said that. Prayer by itself does absolutely nothing. So what do we need it for? You just said it does nothing. You just said that.
Prayer does. It gives you, it changes your mind frame. So some people have oppressive or like they don't think, and then when they pray, they think positive thoughts, and results start to happen.
Whoa! Positive thoughts. Results start to happen from positive thoughts.
Yeah.
Y'all, she's laughing over there. She's laughing over there, by the way. She takes herself so seriously, she's laughing.
Thoughts become things.
Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
The way you said it, the way you just said it, I don't, but it's kind of funny too.
Yeah. You know what? We also laugh at things that are ridiculous. We also laugh at things that are ridiculous too. Prayer will give me positive thoughts. I can have positive thoughts without praying. Why do I need prayer to have positive thoughts?
You can't, because you have to believe in a higher power. If you don't believe in a higher power, then
why?
I don't know. You just do. You can't. I don't believe in evolution.
Okay. Why do we need a higher power to get up and act on our own? Why can't we just get up and act by ourselves?
I mean, we
the only thing that you know is the only thing that you have been able to say correctly is what I said. Do your own actions. Everything that you have suggested, prayer, positive thinking, higher power, you've already conceded that doesn't actually do anything. You've already said that, but you are sticking to your guns but we need it. Even though when I ask you, what do we need it for? You can't tell us. Now, at what point do we just concede that you're selling a fraud? Tell me, at what point do we just concede that, you know what, this is fraudulent? This isn't real. This is fraudulent. When does that happen? Tell me, how much more do we need to see? How much more of your principles is falling apart do we need to see before you finally say, you know what, this is fraudulent?
I don't know. I believe in God.
Okay.
That's all I know.
I don't, you know what? It doesn't matter to me if you do or if you don't. Explain to me how your prayer, what is the biggest problem facing black people today? What is it? You tell me.
Not enough action.
What do you think?
Not enough action.
No, what do you think? No. What do you think is the biggest problem facing black society? What do you think?
The biggest problem, white supremacy.
Okay. Well, white supremacy is the biggest problem. Why? How is that a problem for us?
It affects everything that we do. It affects us. We're dependent on it for everything.
Okay. And tell me, how does prayer help us? With that problem, with that specific problem, tell me how prayer helps us.
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Do you think it's time to go back and re-examine your belief system? Maybe. Just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit. It's time to go back and re-examine that belief system. Because your whole belief system is based upon 3 words. I don't know. Now, what kind of belief system do you have when most of your answers to your own belief system is, I don't know? What kind of belief system is that, Nicole? What is that?
I don't know. This is how I was taught. This is how my family.
Thank you.
But
you have been conditioned and indoctrinated. And you are holding on to what it is you believe, that you were taught as a child, and that teaching has bound itself and is binding to you. Now, I don't argue with people over their religion. You can believe whatever you want to believe. But when you start to tell me that the way we're going to deal with white supremacy is through intangibles that we cannot see, measure, or verify, that's a problem. Because I know that you're not trying to sell me a strategy. You're just trying to sell me something.
Nicole?
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you're feeling because I went through this earlier today, actually. I was having a conversation in which my thought processes were challenged as far as the faith that I grew up in. But we've got to understand as a people now, economic empowerment does not require prayer.
Well, I'm just saying that, okay, we can have economic empowerment, but we can also have religion. What's wrong with having both of them?
When you try to make one replace the other.
But when you try to force religion as a path to economic empowerment, you don't need that. You can have them both, but religion and faith is not required for economic empowerment.
I agree with that. It's just that I don't believe we should abandon religion and we should attack the pastor.
Nobody said abandon religion, dear. Nobody wants to abandon religion, and we should attack anybody, pastor or not, that's pulling stuff that Creflo Dollar is pulling. Because you said clearly on that post, trust and believe there's other peoples with Bentleys, but you can't name them. You said on that post... You said on the post he's an MD. He's got a Bachelor of Science in Education from West Georgia College. He was awarded an honorary doctorate of divinity from Oral Roberts University.
So when they say doctor, they're simply referring to the honorary educational status that he was given, not that he's a medical professional. But in any case, here's the real issue, Nicole. The real issue is Why would you even argue to defend a man like him who is so obviously fraudulent? Why are you doing that?
Because I don't believe he's fraudulent. I follow his teaching. Like his teaching, I used to get up in the morning and like listen to him on TV because I follow his teaching.
Okay, how long you been following his teaching, Nicole? Because you're only 32 years old. You're only 32. How long you been following him?
Since we used to go to his church when I was 14.
Okay.
I live in Atlanta.
So
pretty much ever since
half your life. Half your life, Nicole. Half your life, Nicole. Now, after half of your lifetime, you've been following this man all of your adult life. Nicole? Nicole?
Yes.
What kind of car do you drive?
What car do I drive?
Yes.
Eclipse.
A Mitsubishi Eclipse. I didn't even know they still make that.
You what?
I didn't even know they still make that.
Well, it's not like a 2015 or anything.
Yeah, I know it's not. That car's got to at least be 7-8 years old.
It's a 2011.
Lord, I didn't even know they still made Eclipses that recently. Wow. Now, I hear other people behind you. Do you have any kids, Nicole?
No.
Okay, but I hear other people behind you. Are you at home?
Oh, yeah, I have.
Are you at home?
I am.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That means you live with other people.
No, I have people over.
Oh, you have people over. Oh, they're just visiting. You heard that, Melissa? They're just visiting. Okay.
What's wrong with that?
Dear, how much does your house cost?
I live in an apartment.
Okay. Now, my point, Nicole, is that you've been listening to this man all of your adult life and half of your entire life. Half of it. He's got 3 mansions, a bunch of cars, and a G6. Nicole has got a Mitsubishi Eclipse and an apartment. How much benefit are you getting out of following his teaching?
Before I was lost, not really focused on life. Spent a lot of my younger years just kind of, hanging out. But now I'm focused and I have a clear view of where I'm going and how I'm going to get there.
Okay, and so what you haven't explained to me, how is it he's supposed to be teaching you prosperity? You've been listening to him for 14 years. I'm waiting for the prosperity part. Why is it that if this guy is really so beneficial, where's your prosperity at?
It's on the way.
It's on the way. So
yes.
You mean the last 14 years has not been long enough?
No, I mean the last 14 years, well, up until about the last year and a half, I was just, kind of lost, just taking classes, not really knowing what I want to do. Like, I didn't have my life figured out.
And what did he have to do with that? That's called maturity, Nicole. Usually we figure out what we want to do by the time we get to our late 20s. What does he have to do with any of that?
I'm just saying, that's because I really didn't have a clear plan.
I asked you, what does he have to do with that, Nicole? I keep asking that, and you can't tell us. Once again, it's I don't know. You're giving him credit for something you did yourself. What did he have to do with your newfound focus? Third time.
Nothing.
So why are we giving him credit for anything when you just said nothing? 14 years, people. 14 years since she was a teenager. All of her adult life. She's got a Mitsubishi Eclipse and an apartment. He's got 3 or 4 mansions, a bunch of expensive $100,000 plus cars, and a G6. With her being faithful for 14 years. Do you know that you've been with this man practically all his ministry then? At least since he got that damn G6. And since he got that G6, you are no closer to getting your own. But he's supposed to be teaching you to have what he has. And I'm asking you for the proof. Where is it? I've got people on the Black channel who were not business owners before they met me, and now they are. Creflo Dollar's supposed to be teaching y'all prosperity, and yet he's the only one with a G6. How in the hell could I be legitimate if I tell people that I talk about building businesses and nobody who listens to my broadcast could use my information to become a business owner? Now you say he's going to teach prosperity, and yet nobody, including you, has been able to use that babble that he spits out to make yourselves prosperous. Not like him. Y'all got a job and a car. This man's got a damn G6. And y'all are still lined up. Why don't y'all just tell the damn truth? That he's a black man who has some power and influence and some money, and y'all would drop them draws tonight if you thought you could get broke off.
Really?
And
no,
that's the truth.
No.
And that's the damn truth.
No.
And that is the damn truth of it.
No.
Every single one of y'all would be, and it ain't like he ain't run through a bunch of them already, by the way. It ain't like he ain't already did it. And we all know that he has, because they've been even his wife talked about his infidelity. So it ain't like he ain't been running through them already. So along with that prosperity is the penny prosperity. And he getting that too.
No.
And like every other church, y'all are hoping that a truck falls on his wife, so maybe one of y'all will be in line. And
really?
that is the real truth of why you all would back a shyster like him, because you're hoping that he will come along and maybe one day that Bentley will be for you.
I've never had any type of thoughts like that about him.
Okay. Then what are you waiting for?
What do you mean?
Where's your results? You are holding out faith for something. Faith for what? Is nothing he's giving you. By your own words, he's not benefiting you.
That's what I've been taught. That's what I don't know. That's just what I believe. It's how I believe.
He's not gonna give you nothing. If he does, it'll only be for the 30 minutes you there, and then he's gonna send you home. His congregation is overwhelmingly female, and that's because all of y'all are starstruck and love-struck, and you're hoping that maybe you'll get your chance. Your chance ain't coming. Not today, not tomorrow, not next week, not nothing.
He's like an old man. He's like 50-something.
Wow, like that means something.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. You can't even explain why you even listen to him.
Because this is how I've been taught. My mom was really, really, really religious. She followed Creflo Dollar too, and that's
okay. Your mom is really, really religious. What about your dad?
My dad, not so much.
Okay, is your dad still with your mom?
Well, my mom passed away.
Okay. Before your mom died, were they still married?
No.
Okay. Your dad was not married to your mom. Was he ever married to her?
No.
Okay. You know why? Yeah. Starting to put it together now? Because no real man is going to sit back and let another man spit game to his woman and he just stand there and listen to it. No man is going to sit there while another man is just spitting straight game at his female, and he going to sit there and lap it up. You let her go to church and get that in her system and whatever. I'm watching NFL. And no, I wasn't guessing about your dad and your mom either. I asked the right questions because that's the way it always is. So you're the daughter and you're inheriting what she did, but it ain't right. She's in church because her man game wasn't on point. You see, when a person's got money, they don't go to church. And when a woman can get a man, she doesn't go to church. It's when she ain't got no money and ain't got no man, all of a sudden they parked in the church. Can I get a witness? If your mom's man game was on point, she wouldn't have been in church like that. That's why girls in their 20s, when their breasts are sitting up high and perky, they ain't thinking about no church. It's only when the men stop paying them attention, they want to get that reinforcement. So if they can't get it from secular society, they go to church. Because they know that they can get that reinforcement in church. They know they can get it there.
Wow.
Sorry.
An infant.
Yeah, I have a daycare.
That's okay.
Oh.
Don't worry, that G6 right around the corner, y'all.
It is.
Baby, if you don't leave that crack alone.
Really?
If you don't leave that crack alone.
My G6 is right around the corner. It'll be here.
Okay.
Oh, no. I don't want a G6.
The only way that
My
G6
money is right around the corner.
The only way that G6 is around the corner is if you live near O'Hare.
Is it what?
If you live near O'Hare or JFK, that's the only way your G6 is around the corner. Stop that nonsense. I'm trying to stick with you, Nicole. I really am. I'm not going to require you to give up your religion. Just don't come in here trying to sell other people on game. The answer to our problem is not religion. We don't have to agree on the same religion, Nicole. All we have to do is agree that white supremacy is the problem and economics is the answer. Now, can we agree on that?
I understand that, but I thought you were saying that you have to do away with religion for economic empowerment.
Nobody said that. And that wasn't what you thought. You just didn't want to conceive of an idea that empowerment didn't require your religion.
I mean, I understand that. I do.
Time for you to go back and rethink your belief system, Nicole. It has terrible flaws in it. I'll let you have the last word. I said I'll let you have the last word, Nicole.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you. No, that was it. Thanks for talking with me.
And if you give that nigga another dime of your money.
What?
If you give that fast-talking shyster charlatan another dime of your money, you crazy as hell. I want $60 million for a damn plane. Why doesn't he show you all, since he's the king of prosperity preaching, why doesn't he show you all how to get that plane instead of coming to y'all with his hand out? And if he can come to you with his hand out, why is it you can't go to him with your hand out? Why is it that door never swings both ways?
My baby.
That's right, Creflo Dollar got other people to take care of his babies. He ain't got to do it himself.
Huh?
Creflo Dollar got other people to take care of his babies. He ain't got to do it himself. You better wake the hell up.
I take care of other people's baby.
Get the hell out of here with that mess.
What?
Lying.
I'm lying? No,
Yeah.
no, I'm so serious. I don't have any kids.
How
My
much?
mom should be here
How
now.
much money can you ask Creflo Dollar for?
Huh?
He wants to get $300 from you. How much money can you? And he's not gonna pay you back either. It's not a loan. It's a donation. How much money can you get Creflo Dollar to donate to you? He's worth $30 million. How much can you get him to donate to you?
Creflo, I mean, if I wasn't, I don't know.
Why is it you just don't tell the
leave it as
truth?
it is.
Understand something. When everybody out here knows the obvious truth and you don't just immediately admit to it, you destroy your credibility. You can't ask that man for a thin dime. And you know it. And you know it. Thank you for giving us a call, Nicole. I hope you learned something. Strictly by accident.
Okay.
Melissa. What in the hell is going on out here?
At some point when you grow up and become an adult, you should start questioning things. That doesn't mean you have to completely abandon a belief system that you were, the word's indoctrinated, but you don't have to abandon that, but you have to start questioning things and you have to start questioning people. Blind faith has been killing black people for centuries. We can't just keep following everybody with a microphone and a Bible, especially if they're not teaching us to do anything. How much does faith cost, Jason?
It's an intangible.
Yeah. How are you paying for faith? You don't have to pay for faith. Why can't you just believe without having to donate for $60 million planes?
You give him.
I don't understand.
It's always the same racket. You give him tangible money. He exchanges an intangible for a tangible. He won't let you come to his church and give him faith. Clearly, he doesn't have enough faith to get a plane. Clearly, he doesn't have enough faith in God to bring him a plane. But he wants to give you an intangible. Now, you can only give him a tangible, money. But he doesn't want you to use the same rules with him that he uses for you. You can't sell him faith. You can only give him money. You can't bring him no faith. Let me grab another caller on this line here. This thing's moving kind of sluggish here. Let me see if I can get caller from 951. You're on live with the Black Channel. Okay. Caller from 951. You're on live with the Black Channel. Okay, caller from 951 may have been abducted. Caller from 951, last chance. You're on live with the Black Channel. Okay, they're playing on the phone here tonight, which is okay. Let's boot them. Let me get caller from 862. You're on live with the Black Channel.
Is that me, sir?
I'm not sure who you are, but you're a caller from 862, aren't you?
Yes, I am. I just want to know if you can...
Slow down. What's your name?
Linda.
Linda. And where are you calling from,
Yes.
Linda?
I'm calling from New Jersey.
Linda from New Jersey. Your voice sounds familiar. Why does your voice sound so familiar?
This is my first time calling. Someone called me and told me about this number.
Okay. And what's on your mind, Linda?
I just want to know, because I was listening to you and the other people, if you could speak to a live audience of young people.
If I can speak to a live audience of young people.
Or do you speak to a live audience?
Well, I speak
of any people. I think of young people because I work with young people.
Well, I speak to a live audience here, and I do have my documentary out at 7 a.m. As far as public appearances, no, I don't do public appearances. I get a lot of requests for that. I can make a lot of money if I was doing that, but it's just not in me to do it. It just really isn't. But I can make a lot. Everybody, I gotta tell you, I can make a whole lot of money if I wanted to do that.
Thank you.
And that's all she wanted to know is if I'm gonna come help her with some, I don't know, junior high hustle. Is that it?
Okay.
Okay. Let me see if we can grab another caller here. I don't know why this thing's moving so sluggish on us here tonight. I think it's having trouble with that. Try that one more time here. Caller from 919. You're on live with the Black Channel.
Peace. What's up, brother?
What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Dwan Owens. I'm calling from North Carolina.
Okay, you need to turn your speakers on.
Okay, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Okay, can you hear me better now?
Okay, what is your name and where you're calling from?
This is Dwan Owens. I'm calling from North Carolina.
Dwan from North Carolina, what's on your mind?
And I just wanted to say, obviously, you know what I mean, the show is great. I appreciate it. You know what I mean, this knowledge that's well putting out there and everyone coming together, speak about things. I also want to talk about, you know, I'm not going in on it, but the sister that you were just on the phone with, I know it's frustrating, you know, and, you know, in the chat room, a lot of us were going in on it, but, you know, it hurts, you know, when you see people, you know, that cognitive dissonance, they're going through that. The sister said herself, I believe this because this is what I've been taught. I mean, you hitting her with some cold, hard logic, and she knows you're right. And then, you know, you see that internal struggle within herself, and that shit hurts because the majority of our family, we've all dealt with that shit. All right, let's be honest. Motherfuckers, black people born in the States, majority of us was born Southern Fried Baptist. So, you know, it's a mission to come up out of that shit. So, you know, we got a lot of sisters and brothers, for lack of a better word, conscience, whatever. They're fortunate enough to be brought into that conscience at a young age. But it was a battle to beat. I mean, I remember being 5, 6, 7 years old and not really understanding from an intellectual perspective how to put into words why this didn't make sense. But knowing like, oh, Big Mama, this ain't right. You know, why is this good things happening to bad people sometimes and bad stuff happening to, you know, good people? Or, you know, I remember being 7 years old and being, you know, you told all the time, like, don't question it. And I'm the troublemaker. You know what I mean? I'm the heathen because I'm just trying to, you know, because it's that pressure to believe. And obviously anything worth believing can stand the test of investigation. So even though I didn't understand that, I just knew at 7 I really wanted to believe and stop perpetrating, like, because I knew I didn't believe the bullshit. But again, you know, when you have adults telling you that stuff, you know, it's tough. So, you know, I can't say I sympathize with her because I'm grown. She's grown now. This is a grown ass woman, and you know, at this point in her life, if she didn't come into some sense of understanding, she's just not going to. I mean, to a certain degree. I guess people, you know, maybe our parents' generation, I do understand why a lot of them believe what they believe, you know. And if we take it back even further, obviously, you know, we're talking about Jim Crow, slavery era. Of course, you need something to grab hold to. So whether I believe it or not, I understand. Now, there's absolutely no reason to believe. I remember when I was a teenager. I'm 27 now. I remember about 15, 16 when I'm really going hard on this black liberation theology around that point. I mean, I was like, you know, going through that real militant phase, you know, when you just coming into some shit. And then I felt like I needed to go on this crusade to, like, enlighten everybody. You know what I mean? But then you kind of calm down with that. You know, you start doing your thing. You start realizing, you know what? You know, regardless of how silly this shit is they believe, it can make you a better person. Fuck it. I'm going to rock with you as long as we about this, you know, black first, okay? So that's how I was at that time. But then even moving past that, you start realizing, like, no, you can't even build with people like that because at the end of the day, their allegiance is going to lie with something else, and it's not going to be, and it doesn't make any sense. So, you know, only I wanted to say, as silly as the sister was, I understand it. I feel bad for her because, you know, again, a lot of our family, everybody in the chat room, everybody, I'm sure you've dealt with it too. You got people that you love that, you know, even intelligent people. That's what's crazy about it. It can even be someone intelligent, but this lock on their motherfucking brain, it is crazy. And it's like they got this automatic looping mechanism. No matter what happens, it's like, gotta believe.
10 seconds.
Yeah, hit me with this, hit me with that. Gotta believe, and it just loops right back around every time. But that's his purpose.
You know,
his purpose is to bind you. We have to catch you early. We have to indoctrinate you early, and his purpose is to bind you so that even if you are faced with irrefutable evidence to the contrary, you are so conditioned to be afraid that your reaction will simply be to be paralyzed. But that is what his purpose is to make sure that you just default back to this system, this belief, this position, no matter how irrational it might be. And what we're finding is that it works very, whoever pulls the strings on you first, that it binds you to them, really could bind you to them for life if you let it.
Right.
I'll let you have the last word.
Okay, real quick. I didn't come in to just get on my soapbox. I'm on the phone with you, so I want to take advantage of that time. The question that I have, is totally outside of this stuff, is how, in your opinion, how do we... All right, you know how crazy things is with the so-called conscious community. A lot of the reasons people are doing things for the wrong reason. You know, a lot of this talking, we love hearing people talk, but I'm talking about like real, tangible shit. You know what I mean? You're putting in real work. And getting income from it, getting your notoriety out, and you can parlay that into other endeavors. But how can I guess I'm saying, how can someone do that on even on a smaller scale if that thing isn't social media or something like that? Like I'm a mixed martial artist, so I fight professionally for a living. So I want to teach eventually, not martial arts, but grade school. But I want to parlay the notoriety and, obviously the cheese that I get from fighting into that. Because, how our kids are, it's like, well, who are you, what you got? You know what I mean? You ain't talking about nothing unless you got something. So I have my reasons for doing that, but I don't want I want a goal in mind. Like, I want to build something. I want, like, how can we basically not wind up like generations past who have been on some real shit, but at the same time, ultimately, it's fruitless because nothing was built, nothing was really maintained outside of a collective understanding. Even though we look back on the civil rights generation and a lot of things they did wrong, they still had some real motherfuckers that was doing real shit too. Claude was on it early. Dr. Amos was on it early. The people that was in the meetings, they didn't just disappear. So there were some people who had, were doing other things outside of the main narrative that. Go ahead, bro. No, my bad. I thought you said something.
Okay.
First of all, let me wrap it up.
I'm answering your question. You asked your question, I'll answer it.
Okay.
You said, how can I parlay my mixed martial arts into something else? That's a very easy question to ask. Start winning.
Right.
And you do that and everything else falls into place. How do we make a large income at anything? A large income at anything depends on one thing, your expertise. If you do something at a level that 99% of other people cannot do it at, you can charge the highest prices for it because everybody else cannot do what you do. So if you want to know how to turn your mixed martial arts into a moneymaker and be able to merchandise, parlay it, whatever else with popularity, whatever, start winning. In other words, be very good at what you do.
No doubt. I mean, in the sense, maybe I didn't explain it. Things are going well. There's actually a season of the Ultimate Fighter trials. A sponsor's flying me out next week to Vegas. Things are going good. But I'm talking about like how can people involved in everything that's down for the liberation of black people and that's serious about working, serious about connecting with other black people, and not on this separatist type shit. How can we do something? Because, again, there were people in generations before us who felt the same way, who were doing things, and nothing came of it.
Brother, you're taking us the scenic route with every question you ask. Too much setup, not enough. Too much wind up, not enough pitch. And besides, you've already asked the question before. The answer, again, start winning.
Okay.
You cannot hook up with anybody else talking about let's collaborate if you brought nothing to the table. I can collaborate. There's a reason why I don't have to name drop on the Black channel. You all have seen other people, notable people, posting my stuff up. You just saw it happen just last week. It just happened 7 days ago. There's a reason why that happens. It's because I worked to be able to hone my skills and master my craft at what I do. I started winning. With 7 a.m., I did a decent job with it, good enough. Obviously, it must have done good enough. Clearly, I started winning.
Right.
I did a very good job at it. Now, other people who do a good job want to hook up with me because they see, hey, you do a good job. So you start winning. You start winning. You start doing a good job, and the other people will come find you. You won't even have to go look for them.
Yeah, I don't know why I was looking for some complicated answer, but no, you're right, and that makes sense.
Because right now, brother, you've got potential, but we can't eat your potential. At some point, once you give us confirmation, now you're going to have offers. But as far as potential, nobody can do anything with that. So you get out of this potential zone, start getting some wins under your belt, start showing where you actually know what the hell you're talking about and can back it up.
Right.
And the people that you want to work with and whatnot, they will come find you. That's the way it works. Results seek results. Accomplishments seek accomplishments. Potential seeks potential. And unfortunately, most people think they have potential, but they really don't. Accomplishments, you can't think you got it. You either got it or you don't. So if you want people who have accomplishments that you can work with so y'all can be accomplishing people, you have to become one of the people with accomplishments. Get that done, everything else falls into place.
No doubt. I appreciate that, brother.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. And definitely, like I say, it's not rocket science. It's not something that has to be elevated beyond the realm of comprehension. It really doesn't, people. When you start producing, producers start looking for you. That's the way it works. It's really that easy. Okay, I say the word easy. I don't mean to necessarily say easy, but it's really that uncomplicated. Caller from 718, you're on live with the Black Channel. Caller from 718, you're on live with the Black Channel. Okay, caller from 718 has been abducted. Let me take just one more call here because we're coming up on the end of our time. Caller from 502, you're on live with the Black Channel. Okay, they're being serially abducted. We'll stop there. Melissa, I hope we've learned something here tonight. We have a lot of black folk who love dealing with intangibles. I mean, this wonderful land of make-believe garbage. And then can't figure out why their life hasn't changed, it hasn't improved, it hasn't gotten any better.
It's extremely sad.
You know, Melissa,
it makes you wonder where the adults were.
You're about the same age as Nimrod, who called in at the beginning. You're about the same age as him. Mm-hmm. Could you imagine that guy trying to say that he was your head of the household?
My eyes just rolled into the back of my head. No, I can't. Not at all. I'm glad I had my dad.
Yeah, because this guy literally told you that if white supremacy had him cornered in, he would see how much sex he could give up. And we all know how that works for a male in prison.
Oh, God. With all the white people, by the way.
Yeah. His first mind was, let me see if I can sex my way out of this. For real, dude.
It's sad. But one thing I want people to take away is, you know, this is not necessarily a religion beating session. Nobody is saying religion should not exist. There is a place for religion. There is a place for belief if that's what you want to do. However, when you come to the table and we have a discussion about economics, you don't need religion for that.
This idea that when we talk about white supremacy, and you tell me that the answer to white supremacy is having proper religion, that if we just had proper religion, we'd be okay. That's where we have a problem. I don't have to subscribe to your religion to fight white supremacy. White supremacy's power is not its religion. It's its economy. And if you're telling me that we're going to stop an army that is fueled by its economy by not having one of our own, that just tells me you're running from the answer.
It's amazing that we'll sit back and talk about how white folks, through their religion, on us during slavery to keep us subdued. And now all of a sudden, religion is going to empower us somehow. I don't understand that.
I didn't get to say this while she was on the phone, but if religion was doing so much for us, why is it that black people have more churches than any other people in America?
Yep.
And yet we are the poorest people in America with the most social problems. Even if religion was really doing that much, why in the world are we in the shape we're in?
And it's a bunch of women and children in church too. If you in black churches specifically, it's a bunch of women and children, and the men are the women's teenage sons and whatnot. Now, I see more of that than adult black men coming in with their wives and children.
That's the point. You don't see a bunch of black women showing up at church with their husbands. You see a bunch of not so attractive single mothers and divorcees. Back when she could get a man, she didn't need no church. She can't get a man now, off to church. I'm just telling you like it is. Where are their husbands?
And you go on your Facebook profiles. A bunch of women. I know on my Facebook I've got a woman with 4 kids by 3 men. And she loves Jesus. And she's at church, and she's dragging the kids to church. And, the Lord, and every new dude she gets with is living in the house, not a father to none of the kids. But she loves Jesus. And she goes to church, and he's going to save her from whatever, I don't know. But she's poor. What is all this faith doing for you? And I know she'll say, but I'm rich in spirit. Well, you need to eat.
But if she's rich in spirit,
is spirit feeding you?
If she is so rich in spirit, why is it that commandment against fornication isn't making any impression on her? That's the first thing. If she's so rich in spirit, why is it that one's not making any impression?
I don't it seems that people like to have a selective belief system, We love God and we follow Jesus. We'll just skip over that part about fornication.
Confidence in the chat room, he said that Jesus is her excuse to be a hoe.
Yes, because you can be a hoe, pray about it, and not be a hoe anymore.
Yeah.
And you're forgiven for everything, and then you can just continue about your life.
So basically, she thinks that saying that she goes to church is a reset button. That she can be a reformed hoe.
Yeah, Jesus knows I'm a good person, and
so all that hoeing I just did before it's Saturday night, and I just had 3 dudes run through me, but I'm going to church today, and that makes everything I did last night a non-issue. And it's going to make everything I'm going to do next weekend. But it's going to make everything I'm going to do next weekend a non-issue too.
But are we really that disconnected from reality?
Yep.
Are we really that thrown the hell off?
We are not trying to do better. Because like I said, as a group, black people have grown so accustomed to living in the filth and the slum and the cesspool that we now have acquired a taste for it. Being poor doesn't bother us. Nicole would be telling us all that Creflo Dollar was a prophet on par with Moses if she woke up tomorrow and that Mitsubishi Eclipse were a BMW 3 Series, not even a 6 or 7, a 3 Series. She would say that going from one type of car to another type of car is proof of prosperity. She would not compare her car to Creflo Dollar's, though. But she would tell you that because her impoverished state has shifted, that is proof that this man's a prophet.
Wow.
And she would argue you into the ground. Sad. She would argue you into the concrete. If she went from having that apartment to having a condo that she rents, she would tell you that, hey, this man's a prophet. Can't you see I'm prospering? Can't you see I'm shining? This man's got 3 mansions. She's not going to compare herself to him. She's gotten so used to the taste of the swill and the slop. She's gotten so used to that taste that now she actually considers it a delicacy. And she's making up every excuse why her delicacy is not in fact trash, which is what we know it is. We all know it is. She's just refusing to admit it, because if she did, then she would have to acknowledge how bad the situation really is, and she can't bring herself to do it.
And that's the fault of their parents.
Don't you know how many black folk... The real reason that so many people hate it when I say bastard baby makers or dusty lame niggas is because they cannot bear facing the truth of their life. That this is really what they are, this is really what happened, this is really how it went down. They cannot face the reality of that. There was one today on one of my posts, foul mouth, got nose piercings. I'm talking about, she's got like one of them bull rings in her nose. You saw it, Melissa. She got one of them bull rings in her nose, like Ferdinand the Bull. She's got her hair all crazy on her head. I mean, the heifer looked like Crazy Eyes from Orange is the New Black. And yet, here she is, bastard babies in tow. She got upset about my post about single mothers. They always do. And the reason why I told her, the reason is because you cannot face the reality that you are no longer eligible for the best black men. You are unwilling to face that reality. That's why you have to fight this and resist it and argue it into the ground, because otherwise you would have to face the truth that you are simply no longer eligible. You had your chance, and you screwed it up. You had your chance. You blew it. You blew it. And she can't bring herself to face that reality. Nicole can't bring herself to face the reality that obviously this man that your mama brought you to is not a prophet. He so obviously is not. Your mom was wrong.
So many people, so many kids wandering around here, may they make it to 30 plus believing the dumbest things.
But they have environments that nurture it.
Their parents did nothing for them.
They have environments that nurture it and reinforce it. And now here she is. Criminal. Here she is trying to shoehorn Creflo Dollar into black empowerment. She's telling us that we can't discuss black empowerment unless we include Creflo Dollar. As if he is some essential part of the equation. "32 years old.
Religion.
The first caller. We need to be male bedwenches. 32 years old. 32 years old. I hope you all will understand. That's the reason why I didn't handle him gently. 32 years old. He needs to be smacked the hell up. 32 years old. And his serious suggestion is that black males just need to sleep with more white women. That we, as 6% of the population, can breed out the other 40%. I'm sorry, white society is 63% of the population. So he's telling us that black males, who are only 6% of the American population, are going to breed out the other 67%. Negro, is you crazy?
And how much do you care about your people? Talking like that?
What he really just said was surrender. He really said we can beat white supremacy. How? If we surrender. Just surrender. And here's the other problem. The real problem with Melissa is it's something you can't even do. We are never going to sleep with all the white women in America. First of all, why would you want to? Second of all, you couldn't do it if you wanted to. There's no way to do it. Why is he saying this? Because unfortunately in black society, we will give a voice to somebody if they have the guts to stand up and say some garbage. We'll give a voice to him. And he thinks that he can avoid responsibility for not building an economy if he spews out all this other garbage instead. Oh, brothers and sisters, I thought this over, and we have a military option, we have a sexual option, and we have a surrender option. So we got options. I've looked into this. Don't tell me I ain't looked into it, because I looked into it. He was giving crazy talk. And in black society, we give too much leeway and too much patience to crazy talk. And the people gunning us down ain't talking crazy, they living it. You sit over there talking crazy while he unholsters his gun.
I think the thing of it is we talk so crazy and we give these stupid answers that we can't do because it's easier to say, let's sleep with all the white women. You know we can't do that. You know it's physically impossible for us to do that. That's why you make a suggestion like that. It's unattainable and nobody's going to expect you to do anything.
Yeah, you can just throw it out there, and it's not quantifiable, it's not verifiable. It is an intangible, just like his revolution. These are things you never plan on doing.
Comfortable position for us.
Yeah, these are things that are intended for him to escape scrutiny if people start criticizing him. I ain't got to build no economy. An economy ain't going to work, so we don't need to be building no economy. We need to be sleeping with all them white women. That's what we need to do. We need to be doing that. Really?
But as you say, the internet gives everybody a voice. People feel like they should be heard.
And they don't need to be. We don't need more people to be heard.
Growing up screaming.
We don't need more people to be heard. We need more people to shut up. We do not need to listen to more people's points of view. We need more people to be quiet. We need more people who are not listened to. And that's why I kept telling him, shut up, because you got nothing to say. We do not need to listen to more people. I said that when I was on the radio in Detroit. The problem in black society is exactly, she said we need to listen, black people need to listen to each other more. I said, no, it's exactly the opposite. We need to listen to each other less. When somebody comes in the room, we have a tangible physical problem, and somebody comes in the damn room with some intangible, something you can't ever do. But we're going to listen to him as if we can do it. We're wasting our time. No, you sit down and shut up.
But look at who raised them. You think Bushika sat down and shut up?
No.
She's yelling and screaming, telling men what she ain't going to do, smacking men around, calling the police on them.
Oh, yeah, and there's one other thing. There's one other thing that Bushika is doing, too. The other thing that she's doing is not building a damn thing. Bushika ain't building a damn thing.
Trying to attach herself to somebody that can build.
Well, he already told you, just sleep with him. But the problem is, if that's all you bring to the table, he's not going to keep you for very long. That's the problem if that's all you bring to the table. And when I hear a male talking about he's going to try to use hoe strategy, I'm going to see if I can beat white society by acting like a hoe. Really? That's your plan? That was literally your plan.
What females did? Sleep with massa? Use what's between their legs for to be treated better? Is that the tactic that the men are using now?
I mean, okay, here's the real question, Melissa. Here's the real question. Did white society conquer us by sleeping with all of our women?
Absolutely not.
That's the real point.
Absolutely not.
If that was really such a successful strategy, show me where the people who conquered us did that. They slept with some, but their strategy was not, all these African women, we'll sleep with all of them. Every single one of them. That's how we're going to beat these Africans. They said we're going to get our money together. The money is going to pay for the ships. The money is going to pay for the chains. And most importantly, the money is going to pay for the guns. And we're going to round all these Africans up, and that's going to be the last time they see freedom. It's the economy. But black society is overrun with cowards who cannot bring themselves to face that reality. So instead, we waste precious time and resources debating and arguing over intangibles, improbables, and impossibles.
And donating to stupidity like Creflo Dollar's new G6.
Yeah, a
And
new
impressive
G6.
plane, by the way.
New G6. A new one. To replace the old one. We're going to get a new G6 to replace the old one.
Why can't he just sell the old one?
What's he
Use
been
his own money?
What's he been doing with? Why can't he finance a G6? Why does he have to pay for it cash? Your church's credit jacked up? I'm serious. He runs a damn church. He runs one of the biggest churches in America, and he can't get financing for that G6? But the real reason he doesn't want to finance it? The real reason that
so many people are stupid and they'll give it to him.
The real reason that Creflo Dollar does not want to finance that plane is because Creflo Dollar does not know how much longer he's going to be running this hustle. And he does not want to be financially shackled to an airplane. $60 million. He does not want to be shackled to that. He wants to pay for it cash, because when he gets ready to ball out, like Eddie Long, like Jimmy Swaggart, like the rest of them, Jim Baker, when he gets ready to ball out, he wants to be able to just take what he's got. He doesn't want to be fighting with that church over no damn plane. He wants that plane free and clear and in his name. So that he
ball out and Eddie Long in the same sentence made me gag.
Anyway, but what it is that he doesn't want to have to fight with the board of that church. So as long as they pay cash for that plane and put it in his name, guess what? The plane is his, not the church's. If he finances it, it's going to be financed by the church, not him. That's why he's doing that.
Yeah.
He wants that plane free and clear and in his name. And it sounds like he wants to be doing some more African pimping. So yeah, he wants a plane that can that he can get around in. He wants a plane for that. I don't know if the G6 will make it from here to there. It may have to refuel, but he's got his eyes on something else, obviously, and he does not want to be financially shackled to that plane.
I see. I was reading up on it earlier. That thing can go 7,000 nautical miles, and it travels at almost Mach 1.
Yeah, so he can go from you can hit New York to LA. He can get it.
Oh yeah, and it says 2.5 hours too.
Yeah, he can get it.
The new G6s can go that fast.
Oh yeah, it can get it. At those speeds, it can get it. At those speeds, it can get it.
And it burns 358 gallons of fuel per hour.
That plane's a monster.
Oh my God.
That plane is a monster. And by the way, he wants the luxury version too. By the way. Now he wants it pimped out. Baby, understand, he's going to have everything in that plane. He's going to have the LCDs. He's going to have the plush Lazy Boy seats. He's going to have everything. The lounge in it, like the airplane and Iron Man with Robert Downey Jr., he's going to have it pimped out like that. He's going to have it pimped out like that. He's going to be like, who the hell is y'all? I roll like this. I roll like this.
Meanwhile, his congregation's poor.
Have you ever seen spinners on an airplane?
He might do it.
Have y'all ever seen spree wells on an airplane? Well, you gonna see him now. Soul plane, y'all. Where people and his congregation is riding around in used cars. He's gonna get a new plane while his congregation rides around in used cars, and the congregation is telling itself that he is benefiting them. Now, when you got a bunch of people that brain dead, at that point, a fool and his money not shall soon part. A fool and his money never should have been together in the first place. And they're basically just giving it to him now.
Yeah, it's such easy pickings.
Why shouldn't he do it? You can't talk these people into believing that they shouldn't give him his money.
Oh.
You got an apartment and a used car. He's got 3 mansions, a bunch of Bentleys, and a damn G6. And you are arguing for what he should have, not what you should have. Baby, that's pimping.
Ooh.
That is platinum game.
That's right. Why shouldn't he do it?
Not just
it's
that,
true.
but then he can run through the broads too. Then he can run through the broads too.
And be married.
Baby. I mean, he's got them paying his bills, paying his lifestyle. Plus, he gets to run through all the choice pickings in that place. Are you kidding me? Okay.
I don't know. And you know, for the Bible thumpers, what part of the game in the Bible and the story of Jesus Christ involved adjusted for technology? Involved things like G650s? What part did Christ say about living lavishly and expensive? I always read about him being humble and with the people, and they can't even explain this.
Well, even in the Bible,
I was raised that way and I was born into it.
Well, even in the Bible, we have repeated acts from King Saul to David to Solomon. Even if the king didn't have much, the people would elevate him because as far as they were concerned, he wasn't really worth listening to if he didn't have all that. So even if you took it from him, they would demand that he take it because they're not going to follow you if you ain't balling at a certain level. So even if you ain't got it, the people will demand that you have it. Otherwise, they're going to say, what the hell am I listening to you for? And these guys know the game. As long as they spinning and shining,
wow.
They know the people will give them what they need to keep them enslaved. The people will give the pastor what he needs to keep them enslaved. They'll give it to him. They will demand he have it. They won't just give it to him. They will actually demand that he have what it takes to enslave them. That's what you got going on now.
That's treading on like Stockholm Syndrome.
It's not treading on it, it is. Well, no, Stockholm Syndrome is identifying with your oppressor. This is something worse than Stockholm. This isn't just identifying with your oppressor. This is having a hatred of your own best interests. This is slavery. This is beyond Stockholm. This is slavery. You got a used car, and he rolling 3 Bentleys, and his and hers Mercedes S-Classes. You can give him money, but you don't ever expect that he should ever give you any. And he, unlike the rest of y'all, he's actually got it to give. Let me say that one more time, people. Unlike the rest of you people in his congregation, he's actually got the money to give. If y'all needed a job, if you needed a place to stay, you can't come to his house. If you needed a ride to work, he's got chauffeurs and 7-8 cars. You can't get a ride to work. But you help pay for his car. This man will literally tell you he ain't got to do nothing for you, but tell you about what you gonna give him. If you're dumb enough to do that, that explains why we're in the shape that we're in. Melissa, I'll let you have the last word.
Black first.
Brothers and sisters, all I can say is it's the 21st century. Ignorance is a choice. Poverty is a choice. Enslavement is a choice. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of the BlackChannel.net radio. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Until next time, brothers and sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.